Your biggest business crisis is actually your greatest opportunity in disguise. While your competitors panic and freeze during tough times, resilient companies use adversity as rocket fuel for explosive growth. What if everything going wrong is exactly what needs to happen? Research shows that 65% of Fortune 500 companies were founded during a recession or economic downturns. When your back is against the wall, you stop making safe bets and start making breakthrough decisions that the timid business would never attempt. Businesses that don't develop adversity muscles collapse, their first major crisis. But companies that master the art of adapting under pressure don't just survive, they dominate the markets for decades. The question isn't whether adversity will hit you, but whether you're ready and leveraging it. This couldn't be more true right now. I see so many people complaining about AI and saying how that's going to take all these jobs away. But go back and watch. Our industries and our world leaders have created ideas because of that adversity. We are best as human beings and as countries when our back is against the wall and we are required to innovate. We can do great things, but we usually need a little bit of uncomfort. Go ahead and look at that. Go ahead and look at when whale oil started to decrease. And there was a panic that the entire world would be dark. And it's not. Look at it when the electric car came out. Look at it when the internet came out. Look at it for buggy whips. All of these things, people are like, oh, this is going to destroy us and we will never be the same. But innovation came up. Innovation continues to force us forward. Innovation continues to create the opportunities. AI is just another opportunity. Yes, are we figuring it out? Yes. Is it changing the way we think and act? Is it going to change how we interact with the world and people? Absolutely. But so did whale oil. So did gas. So did the internet. So did social media. And this is a time of uncertainty and a time when we must change. We cannot hold back. We cannot hide from what's coming. We must move forward. We must understand that the world is changing and changing about us, and our job is to understand that change is okay. It's scary. And as we get older, we don't like change because it requires energy to keep going. Our world has changed forever. We will never have to worry about the number of buggy whips we have, or that there's lack of whale oil. We are going to have to challenge how we think about information, how we think about what is reality, and how we think about how we interact with people, and how we interact with things. So this is a call, not only to start understanding that this change can be as good, but also, how do you deal with adversity? Because this is truly adversity for us. We are not sitting in there trying to figure out how to do some things faster. It has changed fundamentally. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I've been using a lot of examples from my summer, and one of them happens to be, again, a hike I took with my son. And he's growing, and he's growing faster than anyone, and I can imagine. He grows out of his shoes, he seems like every 6 days. And we were about to go on a hike, and a very serious hike, in the White Mountains in New Hampshire. I've spoken about this before. And he sends me a text and says, my shoes don't fit. Now, if you know anything about hiking, that's the worst thing that could happen. So I immediately ran out and I went to, he's Boy Scout, I went to the Boy Scout group, and they had a reuse group where there was some old boots, and I figured, well, he's going to be hiking, at least let him hike in a set of boots that are broken in. So I grabbed them, and we get them, and they fit, thank God. We start hiking, and day one, the sole falls off the first boot. And we have 5 days of this, and the sole falls off the first boot. So, when you're backpacking, you don't carry very much, but my son insisted on carrying duct tape. And so we duct taped the front of his sole. the sole back onto the front of his boot. So it happened to be blue, so he had this blue duct tape on the front of his boot. Now, sounds like a good solution. Didn't work really well, but we could get about 2 miles and then we'd have to reduct tape. But the other part is he also lost traction in about 20% of his shoe, and we're climbing a mountain. So here we are, and he's got one shoe that's good and one shoe that's not with 20%, and it always falls off. So every 2 hours, we're reduct taping the shoe. We make it to the first campsite, we make it to the hut, we spend the night in the hut. The next morning we get out, and guess what? The second shoe goes out. Now, 20% of each shoe is now duct taped with blue duct tape. But does he complain? He just stops every 2 hours and reduct tapes it. We start making fun of it. He is in the joy of that, even though this is harder. Now, me as a father, I know that his traction is almost 50% down on a mountain. And guess what? It's a rocky mountain. And at one point, he goes down a waterfall, and I can't tell you how scared I was. But he was happy. He took adversity and used it as part of fun and playing. And he learned how to walk on the back of his heels. Now, completely unsustainable. Luckily, what we did is we troubleshot, we worked the problem, and figured out that we had a friend who could bring his new set of shoes. And they bought a pair of shoes sight unseen, and he went the rest of the way. But that adversity, that joy in learning how to do it and figuring it out, even though it wasn't safe, learning how to walk on your heels and use your hands and really struggle through probably the hardest trail I've ever gone onto with only 50% of your traction. That adversity is something we still talk about today. And in the AT, on the Appalachian Trail, it's a trail from Maine to Georgia where people walk 2,000 miles. They give each other nicknames. And you can't take your nickname, you have to be given it by someone who's also walking the trail. And there was a wonderful woman walking the trail with us who nicknamed him Blue Toe. And that's his trail name, Blue Toe. To remind him of a unique experience for only a day where he worked his adversity and reminded him for the rest of his life that he has a trail name on how he deals with adversity. It's amazing how a 14-year-old boy can teach a father a lot about exactly how to deal with adversity, how to deal with the bigger problems, how to deal with whatever crisis is coming. With only 50% of what he could do, he figured out a way, and he worked the problem. And he now remembers that as a great lesson, and we can take something from that Blue Toe. Now, we now are in a time where we have to figure it out again. And we can either gripe about it, complain about it, and worry about it, move forward and try to figure it out. What I know about the human spirit is we can figure out the greatest change. We can do things that no other group, system, or population has ever done before. It will take change, it will take power, it will take energy, but we have that ability. We have the ability to figure this out and change society, to use this new tool, not as something of fear, but as something to accelerate ourselves again. Use this as the stepping stone. Climb that mountain, even if you're not sure, even if only 50% of what you think is right is going to happen. Because someday you'll be at the top, and you'll have the name to do it. And maybe you'll be lucky enough to meet a woman on the trail, give you a name to remind you how powerful you are and what you can do, only half of what everyone else has. Thank you for listening. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.